And I kind of figured at the time, like, hey, the guys are here. It's right down the road. Why not come and watch a pro day, kill a little bit of time. But ultimately what I found out was they were there to watch specifically me. So all these guys, like legendary type coaches, were there to watch Ryan Mundy perform, and I put on a show for them. And so that was definitely a blessing. And that they ended up flying me here to Pittsburgh for like an official visit. And on that official visit, I took a Wonderlic test. And for those of you that don't know, Wonderlic is like an aptitude, intelligence score test. So I take this test, and I get every question right. I answer 29 out of 29. The scout comes in the room. He's like, dude, are you some type of genius? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you got every question right. And so that stuck with me, and I think that was impressionable because when I got here, Mike Tomlin's nickname for me was Wonderlic. And so, it was just a message for me to always do your best, put your best foot forward. But as you mentioned, I got drafted in the 6th round, and I really, because I'm from here, man, and I had my whole family at my house. It was just truly, truly a special moment to hear my name called by my hometown team. I grew up, as I mentioned, coming down to this stadium, watching guys like Cordell Stewart, Eric Green, Ernie Mills, Greg Lloyd. I mean, everybody. I seen all these guys get out of their fancy cars, go into the stadium and the players' entrance, and I said, one day that's going to be me. And so to have that full circle moment, it was really, really cool.
No, without a doubt, man. I can only imagine. Now, after you come to the Pittsburgh Steelers, your first year, you're on the practice squad. But we see the guys actually go and win the Super Bowl, beating the Arizona Cardinals. Talk about what that year was like for you, though, and how you just were able to enjoy this process and learn from it also.
Yeah, it was a challenging year at the beginning because I ended up on the practice squad because I got hurt. And so I'm busting my butt. I'm doing really well in spring training, OTAs, etc. Training camp comes around, and I'm like, look, I got a great shot to make the active roster. We go out there. We play the Philadelphia Eagles for their first preseason game. I get off to a very fast start. Troy and Ryan played the first 2 series, and it was like my time to shine for the rest of the game. So I get out there, the first series, I'm on fire. I had like 3 or 4 different tackles. I'm all over the place. And then eventually on like my 6th tackle, I'm getting up from making a tackle. A big 350-pound offensive lineman comes and hits me late, knocks me back over, and I have a high ankle sprain. That sidelined me for the entire preseason. And, the saying is, you can't make the club in the tub. And so I was in the proverbial tub. But Kevin Colbert told me, he said, look, man, we're going to injury release you. And we're going to do it this way. And in 9 weeks, after that 9 weeks, we're going to bring you back onto this team. And as a young guy, I'm like, are you really going to do that? That 9 weeks felt like so far away. And I had to rehab. I was away from the team. I was back living with my parents. It was just like, felt like everything was in the balance. And so after those 9 weeks were up, get the call from the Steelers. They're like, hey, man, it's time. I came back down, and the rest was history, man. I finished that year, as you mentioned, on practice squad, but I think that was necessary for me and needed because I was learning from guys like Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark, every single day. Not only how to be a great football player, but how to be a good man and just be a pro.
Absolutely. Now, we fast forwarded a year or two later in the Super Bowl 45. Different experience for you. Could you please talk about what that was now that you're on the active roster and having a role?
Well, I could tell you that winning a Super Bowl is much better than losing a Super Bowl. That is for damn sure. But, it was leading up into that game, we knew we were going to have our hands full. Obviously, the guy that's our quarterback now, Aaron Rodgers, was on the other side, and he is at like the prime of his careers. And they had a great wide receiver core, and also their defense was really good. They had like Charles Woodson, Clay Matthews. They had a really, really stacked team, but so did we. We had a really stacked team. And I tell people this all the time too. Probably the most stacked part of our team was the wide receiver room. We had Hines Ward, we had Antonio Brown, we had Emmanuel Sanders, we had Mike Wallace. We had some heat in that room. And these are all like number 1 wide receivers that went on to do their thing at other teams, but our team was insanely talented that year. But unfortunately, we came up short in that game. It was a tough game. We had some plays that ultimately decided to fade. There's never one play, but if you put a few plays into a bucket, then the outcome drastically changes. But all in all, it was a great experience for me, man. My whole family was down there. And even though we lost, we still celebrated. We still were in community with one another because it was a great season. And just the guys that we had on the team, man, like it was a really special group.
No, you're absolutely right. Now, during your time, your head coach here was Coach Tomlin. And obviously, he's still out here being the architect, being the leader. Just talk about, man, anything that you might have learned from him, or if there is something that you have a favorite story or memory from your time with Coach Tomlin.
Yeah, so when I got here as a rookie, the rookies have a different schedule and a set of meetings, et cetera. And one of the off-season meetings, I distinctly remember Mike Tomlin coming in and saying, football is not who you are, it's what you do. And as a young kid, I'm like, what are you talking about, Coach? Like, I am football. I've been playing football my whole life. Football is life, et cetera. But as I started to mature and understand like what that really meant, he said, there's a life outside of football. And football is a game that you can use to elevate your life. You can use to help people. And ultimately, it's a platform to just kind of like build your life on. And now that rings true as I sit here as a 40-year-old man, and I feel every part of 40. With all those hits I had out there. But as a 40-year-old man, you really start to understand that like football is such a beautiful game, and it's not who you are, it's what you do, but it can do so much for your life. And so that's what that saying that Mike Tomlin had will always stick with me because now I live it each and every day.
No, without a doubt. And man, you carrying it well for 40, man. You carrying it real well. Let's go.
I got to keep it. But actually, my dad is a professional bodybuilder now. At 67 years old, so I'm trying to keep up with him. He is 67 years old and just got his pro card. Insane.
Let's go. Let's go. Now, throughout your career, you made a lot of plays. But I have to ask, when people ask you, hey, man, what's your favorite play? What's that one that you go to? That one that you say, you know what, this is the play.
Yeah, it's the, there's two. I'll talk about the one that I had with the Steelers. It's the last preseason game of the 2009 season. And back then we had 4 preseason games. And the 4th preseason game is like make or break. Like, you out there like
survival of the fittest.
It is a survival. You're playing special teams. You're not coming out the game. And it's ultimately to decide a roster spot. And so as I mentioned the year before, I was on practice squad, and I didn't know, like I felt good about my prospects, but I was like, man, I don't know, so I got to go out here and do the do. And so we play against the Panthers, that 4th preseason game, and I'm having a great game. I'm playing really, really well, and I feel good. I'm like, I'm going to make the team. But I had an interception return for a touchdown in that game. It was like a 40-yard pick six. And in that moment, I was like, yes, I did it. And that was kind of like my coming of age moment in the NFL to like let me know that I could really play with these guys. And so like I definitely remember that as like the tipping point for me. The other play is when I played for the Chicago Bears, I had a pick six return on Monday Night Football. And my last name is Mundy. And my entire football career, announcers, coaches, teammates have been mispronouncing my name and calling me Ryan Monday. There is no A in my name. It is Ryan Mundy. But the announcers for that game, when I had that pick six, it was Monday Night Football, right? As kind of like a catchy type of thing. And so very cool moment for me. And I was waiting for that moment my whole life.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I love it, man.
Monday Night Football.
Pick six, Monday night. You dream about that. No question. All right, well, this is my final question that I have, and we will open it up to the audience if you have any questions for Ryan as well. But we always talk about, as players, that moment where we realize we're not in high school anymore, we're not in college anymore, this the big leagues. These guys out here, they're a little faster, stronger, and they hit a little harder as well. And we typically call it our welcome to the NFL moment. If you could, talk about your welcome to the NFL moment.
Ooh, that's a good question. The welcome to the NFL. My welcome to the NFL moment honestly happened as soon as I got here because we had like mini camp right after the draft. And so like I'm getting in the defensive back drills. We go to like our position groups. And again, I'm with Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark, Ike Taylor, Deshae Townsend, Brian McFadden, like all these guys, right? And they know exactly what to do. They're going through the drills. They're looking all cute and smooth, great footwork. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know any of these drills and how to do any of that. And I went out there and I was just like fumbling and stumbling. And, I'm not in my element yet because I don't know the drills. I don't know the footwork. I'm just trying to keep up. And in that moment, I'm like, wow, like, one, these guys are insanely talented with great footwork, but I'm like, man, like, how are y'all doing this? Like, man, tell me what to do so I at least know what to do. And my head was spinning. It was just a lot to kind of take in that moment. But the reality was the guys pulled me to the side. They said, look, bro, we got you. You know what I mean? And that meant a lot to me. So my welcome to the NFL moment wasn't necessarily a big hit or something bad that happened to me. It was my brothers wrapping their arm around me and saying, like, look, bro, we got you, man. You're one of us now.
Man, that's awesome right there. And shout out to that Steelers brotherhood as well.
Yeah, it's very real. Very real.
Absolutely. All right, so like I said, we have some time for some questions. If you have a question for Ryan. About to say, if you got a question, any question, man, we got Ryan Mundy up here, man. Talk some ball. Oh, all right, let's do it, Dom.
So Ryan, correct me if you're wrong, but you played with Pat McAfee in college.
I did.
So you played with two of the biggest media personalities, Ryan Clark and Pat McAfee. Was there anything you saw in them early that you thought that they would be successful in the media business after playing?
Yes. And it's actually really cool because not only Pat and Ryan, but B-Mac is on TV. Like, and those are guys that not only were only on the same team, but we were in the same position room. But with Pat has always been that way. I can 1,000% confirm that. He was walking around with a microphone in 2007 in Morgantown acting crazy. So he's always been like that. And it's glad to see that he found a way to make a living, impact the world, just being himself. With RC, same thing. Like, he's always been that way. And I definitely remember, like, when he first started to go to ESPN, fly to Connecticut, be on TV with Stephen A. Smith, like, I remember walking in the training room one day on the South Side, and some guy was like, man, look at Ryan, what's he doing, blah, 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 all these types of things, spending his time, off time, going up to ESPN, going on TV, he should be here, blah, 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 doing all this, doing all that. But ultimately, it worked out exceptionally well for him. And I'm so proud of him and everything that he's done and built because I've seen it from day one. And so I know how hard he worked. I know what type of person he is and the work that he's put in over the last 10 to 15 years to get to where he is today. So seeing the backstory of those guys is really, really cool.
Let's go. Got a question for Ryan? Got a question?
Okay, you played for West Virginia, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good friend of mine, Bill Stewart.
The man, Coach Stu. Coach Stu.
When you mentioned the name, I can't remember, the kicker.
Pat McAfee.
Bill told me one time, he says, you know what? I went up to Pat and said, hey, Pat, if you were a duck, you'd fly backwards.
That sounds like something Coach Stu would say. But Coach Stu was an incredible man. And he really stepped up that because Rich Rodriguez was the head coach during that season. And then when he left after that Pitt game, Coach Stewart was named the interim head coach. And the program was in disarray. Guys were like, man, we got this big game in the Fiesta Bowl versus Oklahoma. No one gave us a shot. And I mean, nobody gave us a shot. And Coach Stewart rallied the troops, got everybody on the same page. And we literally went out there and kicked Oklahoma's ass. And it was all because of Coach Stu.
He was at my house right before that game when they left. My wife's Italian. She makes this special soup, okay? He always came and had that soup at Christmas time.
So it was a good luck soup.
It's a good luck soup. His son Blaine was there last Christmas.
Oh, yeah. His birthday was yesterday. Yeah, yep. So I literally just messaged him yesterday.
I'm his godfather.
Oh, wow. That is super cool. Full circle moment. That's a great family. Great family.
Just talked to Karen last night, and he's going to be inducted into the West Virginia Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's much deserved.
Last weekend of this month.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir.
All right. Got some more questions? Yeah, for Ryan? Absolutely.
My question is, what are your thoughts on how the game has evolved? What I'm getting at when I say that is the call on Jalen Ramsey last week.
I think the game has evolved. And what was the exact call last week?
The physicality part, man.
Too physical.
Hitting him. Yeah. DB's hitting him, man. You can't hit him the same way you could back in the day. About to say it's a lot more of that.
So like, again, my era, Steelers football, we were knocking people out. Like, no question. Like, I got a lot of fines myself, but that was just a culture and climate of football back then. But in the same breath, I am all about player safety. And it's a very, very fine balance. And the essence of the game is violence. The essence of the game is physicality. But how do we still be smart about it, but also be realistic about it, particularly for defenders who are they're not trying to intentionally hurt people, but you are trying to intentionally send a message and say, nah, bruh, you can't do that around here. And so, like, it's a fine line. I think the players have done a great job of adapting over the years, because back in like 10 years ago when I was playing, et cetera, it was like really, really hard. And the league was very aggressive about throwing flags, targeting helmet to helmet, et cetera. But I think the game has evolved, play calling has evolved, players are a lot more cognizant, et cetera. So you see it, and I feel like it doesn't impact the game as much as it once does, because the other side of it, I vividly remember guys being concussed, laying on the field like this, like frozen. And that's not a good sight either. So, like, we just got to kind of work with the ebbs and flows, but ultimately prioritize player safety without taking away the essence of the game.
No, absolutely. All right, we got time for one final question for Ryan. All righty. And I love the outfit, by the way.
Yeah, the fit is strong. The fit is very strong.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Fit is very strong.
So, as a lifelong fan, I remember the emotions of watching that Cardinals-Steelers Super Bowl game. What did it feel like being on that sideline when Ben started taking them down the field for that last winning drive?
It was a lot of uncertainty at first, but once the ball started rolling, I was like, oh, like, we about to do this. But I'll take you back to a play before that. The play where Larry Fitzgerald caught the ball and ran straight down the middle of the field. I know Larry personally. I had never seen Larry run that fast. And Troy was chasing him. And we all know Troy is exceptionally fast, but Troy's like, I'm not catching this guy. And he was like, it's a wrap. And in that moment, like, all of our hearts had sank, literally. And that game was just filled with so many ups and downs. Like, so many things went right for us to win that game. I mean, even James Harrison's touchdown return, if you break that play down, like, there are so many things that happened. Larry Fitzgerald getting knocked out of bounds. He had to curve his path, so he didn't have a straight line to get to. There was a lot that happened. But specifically on that drive, I mean, you know, we had a legendary offense. We got Ben, we got Heath, we got Santonio, we got Hines. And also, it was just kind of electric. And Coach Tomlin, he instilled a confidence in us. Like, look, man, the game's not over. Do what you got to do. Like, the ball is literally in our hands. We can do this. And so we went down there, we drove the ball, and then obviously Santonio with the catch in the corner of the end zone. Like, if that ball is thrown like that 10 times, it has to be perfect. And I don't know if it's perfect 10 times, but literally it worked out in our favor. We did what we had to do. And then my brother, when we went back on the defense, my brother Lamar Woodley sealed the deal, and then with the sack fumble, and it was just pandemonium, man. And again, that's my rookie year. And so I'm like, wow, guys, this is great. We're going to do this again next year, right? Like, yeah, this was easy. Let's do it again next year. Not so much, but it was truly a lifetime memory.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, they say the rest is history. But with that being the case, that will conclude today's interview. So please give another round of applause for Steelers legend Ryan Mundy.
Let's get a win today. Big win today, baby. Let's get it.
Absolutely. And as always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.